battle supreme. Follow your destiny in the battle supreme. Fight for your legacy in the battle supreme. Follow your destiny, battle supreme.
And we're back. Welcome to the Battle Supreme. Damn.
Like that one.
What happened? Are you okay?
No, it's good. It's good.
Sounded painful.
Yeah, it was a little painful.
All right. Well,
He's got to lube up.
sorry about that, folks.
Had to lube up and hog down.
When in dry.
You know, it's the dry season's coming.
We're back for another episode, everybody. Are you excited?
Battle Supreme, bitches.
We're excited.
Oh,
BSB.
Yes.
that's right.
Cookie.
As always, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to
You know the deal.
share the podcast, leave a comment,
Do it,
give us a review.
please.
If you think we're dumb,
We're
that's
begging
totally cool, man. Like, you could tell us.
Come on.
You're not going to be the first one, I'll tell you that. You know, if you think our opinions are dumb or we're missing something, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, if we hurt your feelings, I love hurting people.
Yeah.
So, you know, let me know. Tell me in the comments. That's what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Larry with the hot takes, ruffling people's feathers.
Anyway, we got a sick episode lined up for you guys today.
Damn.
I'm personally really excited for this one. So, yeah, let's just get her going, huh?
As stated on the home screen, provided by us, we are doing 2 projects of Richie Blackmore.
Oh.
Deep Purple,
Uh-oh.
world famous pioneers of heavy metal
Heavy metal.
and rock,
Metal.
versus Rainbow.
Oh.
Another
I'm excited.
precursor to
Also
Epic.
heavy metal.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dio.
Dio, man.
Dio's first band, first legit band.
It's badass. To the vocals.
Exciting.
Now, we all know about all the crazy personnel changes with Deep Purple, so much so they have different versions. It's Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4. Well, it's honestly wild. People leaving, people coming back later, reunions that happen, all this shit. So, among the array of personnel that's been the band, I tried my best to pick the important ones. Again, if you guys disagree and think I missed somebody, honestly, let us know, because I would like to know.
Please inform us.
So, we got Rod Evans, Ian Gillan, David Coverdale, Glenn Hughes,
Oh, man.
among others. And we got Dio.
I mean,
And someone else went in later.
Yeah.
But I didn't even feel, it's
Yeah.
Dio. Now,
I realized David
it's
Coverdale.
when Dio joined Sabbath.
yeah, and went
And
solo.
he left Rainbow. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone has their own opinions, but my money's got to go with Dio on this one, me personally.
Well,
What do you think, David?
I think that you are absolutely right.
How do you not?
It's fucking Dio, baby. Come on.
Dude.
One of the best.
Ronnie James Dio, R.I.P.
He's easily one of the best hard rock metal vocalists.
He's
of
the rainbow in the
all
dark,
time, dude.
Fire.
Like, he just.
He's the man on the Silver Mountain.
And here's the
He
thing
is the
too,
man, so-
is like on a singing aspect, it's not even just like a rock and roll thing. Like
He's a
his
good
ability
singer.
is great. His tone is amazing. Like, he's a phenomenal singer. Like, he has talent. So it's not even just like, oh, he's like a cool guy. Or he has the power and he has like that extra thing about him. But at the core of it, he's just a phenomenal singer. So I got to go with him for all of it. Like, I mean, he's phenomenal. A1, baby. Prime. He's prime like rib.
Sweet. Blair.
Yeah, Dio was always somebody that I knew like from a young age, and Deep Purple was always somebody that band that we knew from a young age. I mean, every single guitar player knew Smoke on the Water or of it or whatever, and but I didn't realize that Rainbow had Dio, and I didn't realize like of Rainbow. And when I found out about Rainbow, like after getting into music, a little bit further, a couple years into it, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome with Dio's voice and Richie Blackmore on guitar. And when I hear Deep Purple, I always think of Machine Head, who's a singer on that one. Ian Gillan, yeah. I always get him and John, whoever the keyboard player.
John Lord.
Yeah, I got their names confused. But but if I had to go straight vocals, then I'd have to definitely go with Dio. But like I didn't realize that Dio was in Rainbow, and then when I figured that out, and I knew like the hits, but I thought it was just Dio. I didn't realize it was Rainbow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh shit, this is a different band. And then I got into them like separately, and it was just really cool to like figure that out. Like when I found that out, I just thought it was cool. So I went back like farther than I thought. You know what I mean? So Dio.
Sweet. Frankie.
I mean, I already lost, so I'm just gonna pick Deep Purple. I mean, if you really think of the cast of singers they've had, they're all phenomenal singers, and it's kind of badass when you think about it. Like, when you're at a certain status, I feel like people want to join your band.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So, like,
It's like a football draft.
yeah, basically.
When it's open, when there's a position open.
Hell yeah, I want to play with Tom
And
Brady.
you gotta, yeah.
Yeah,
if you got a situation where you could be in a band with another, link up with another great musician,
Yeah,
like
like you
people
said,
want to
people
do
are
that.
leaving and coming back, retiring and leaving retirement.
Yeah.
It is like sports, you
Yeah.
know. I'm gonna come out of retirement,
sure.
play for Deep Purple. Get the strings strung up.
Yeah.
Sweet. Guitar. So,
G-Top.
take your pick. Richie Blackmore, Tommy Bolin, Joe Satriani, Steve Morse, among a bunch of other people.
Wait, Satriani
Joe
was in.
Satriani.
Joe Satriani was in there for a short stint.
What?
Then Richie Blackmore on the side of Rainbow
Joe Satriani was a guitar player in Deep Purple.
for a short spell, yeah.
No shit.
What's that song he's
I
got?
didn't know that.
Surfing with an Alien or something?
I always just knew that band. He was in Chicken Foot. Who was in that band? Billy Sheehan and
Jason Bonham?
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar, the singer,
Yeah, that's the band.
Yeah.
Super group, brother.
Yeah. I remember that.
Better guitar work. I mean, like, a lot of it's the same guy. So
Yeah.
take your pick.
Yeah, I mean,
I will say, like, when you think both bands, like, I feel like in Rainbow, there is more of like an expression, like clear cut that it's Richie Blackmore's band. It's more like whimsical and even
Yeah.
like the
that was
structure
the
of
word
the
I
songs.
had. Yeah, whimsical.
You know what I mean? Whereas Deep Purple, it's more straight ahead rock. You know what I mean? But so it is cool to see like how it's the same guy, but you could see how it grows when he's kind of doing his own thing. It's
His
kinda
licks
cool.
changed.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He had like a bunch of
Deep.
Deep Purple licks that you could still hear in Rainbow. But then you hear a bunch of stuff that
It broke wide
is
open.
just coming from Rainbow, from Richie Blackmore, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll go Larry.
Yeah, I would go with the guitar in Deep Purple, just because I've known it longer. I mean, there's so many iconic licks. The guitar solo in Highway Star. Honestly, the guitar solo in Smoke on the Water. It's like, when you think about it note for note, that shit's just like, it's like David Gilmour-esque, where it's like, the notes are just perfect.
Yeah.
And he has that way of just playing things that you just have to hear that way, and he just knew how to get it right on those Deep Purple records and on the Rainbow records too. But I'm gonna go with Deep Purple. Richie Blackmore.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet, Frank.
Out of the two styles, I would pick the guitar from Rainbow. I just like listening to Deep Purple when they're doing their solos. Like they would link up a lot. Like the keyboard player and the guitar player would link up a lot. And from what I noticed, and I'm not a guitar player, they play a lot of the same things throughout different songs when it comes to their solo sections. Like a lot of like triplet stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of like repeating licks over and over again type deal
Yeah.
in a number of their songs. but I just like the way the solo sound, and I like the guitar parts more in Rainbow. It just does something more for me. It seems it has more of an edge to it, like it's feistier, and yeah, that's my pick.
Sweet. You're a tiebreaker.
I'm going Rainbow.
Damn.
I mean, it's all great. Obviously, it's fucking Richie Blackmore, but I think I feel kind of the same way Frank does. I think I just like the guitar work and Rainbow stuff a little bit more. I think it's like Deep Purple is great, but when you get into Rainbow, I feel like he just kind of like found a new page.
He really went
like,
off.
Deep Purple is a guitar band. Like Rainbow is like a more so guitar band where the keyboard was so heavy in Deep Purple.
But there's still a lot of the same things too. Like a lot of the riffs, you'll hear like the low organy tone.
Hell yeah.
Playing the same riff as the guitar part, which is sick.
I think that he is definitely one of those guitar players you can put in the category of just like amazing at making riffs.
Oh, he's up there as far as guitar players.
How we talk about, I throw back to when we first started the podcast when we were talking about Tom Morello, how he's like an unlimited riff master. Like he just riffs and riffs and riffs, and they're always so fire. I feel the same way with Richie Blackmore. I think he just has it. He has the ability just to crank out guitar parts and riffs, and
totally
always good. So yeah,
he's got like an identity.
He's got a crazy style because, especially in the Deep Purple, like the early, like the late '60s stuff, is like he was like Hendrix, but like with classical mixed into his playing. Like it was like this really unique, awesome style.
It was like Hendrix and Page.
Yeah, it was like he had a really cool style.
Yeah,
man. He's just a super badass guitar player, like super good.
Something I wanted to add for the guitars too. Like I've listened to a lot of Van Halen because I listened to Rainbow, and like a radio station would start, and a shit ton of Van Halen would pop up in it. And then listening to these Van Halen riffs, they sound so much like Richie Blackmore in Rainbow riffs.
He influenced a lot of people.
But there's no keyboard in Van Halen. But his riffs, probably in the studio or maybe pedals or effects, like he's playing the riff, but you always hear a way lower tone in the guitar.
An octave.
Almost like there's a organ playing with it, but it's all straight up Eddie Van Halen. I just thought that was really cool, like hearing the little connection between the two. Because at first I was like, why are they playing Van Halen on a Rainbow Station? But then it made sense.
Then you got woke.
Essentially.
Wake me
Started
up.
broke, now he's woke. Moving on to the bass. Nick Simper, Roger Glover, Glenn Hughes, among others. But Roger Glover was like most of the mainstay, it seems. You think he's still in the band today?
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're still rocking out. Last album was 2022. I didn't even know they were coming out with new music. I would just look and research, and I was like, damn, they're still coming out with shit. That's awesome.
I don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna listen to it now because I'm curious. And then yeah, like a lot of the members in Rainbow were interchangeable, so I just picked a name, Craig Gruber. I think he was the guy that was on the album. I know you said basically, and now again, we're not taking this for fact, but didn't you say something about it was a Dio's band?
It's a fact.
Is it a fact? Okay.
Dio was in, I forget the first iteration of the band name. Then it became like something Elves. Then it was the Elves. Then it was Elf. And then after Elf, I wanted to add this too. The bass player from Deep Purple produced 3 of their albums. So it's funny. They were probably all hanging out together, and then Richie Blackmore wants to leave Deep Purple and then asked that whole band to be his backing band. And then called it Richie Blackmore's Rainbow.
It's lit.
When I read that, I was like, well, that's kind of a weird coincidence. You know?
Elf. I've heard of that band.
I want to say that dude produced Judas Priest too.
He might have. I don't know.
I think I heard that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did some other, like early Judas Priest before they, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you're right. It's that whole entire band is Richie Blackmore's band. He just adds himself into it.
Yeah, they had a lot of band members. I think one of the bass players, God, his name escapes right now, but it was like he played Rainbow before he went to Ozzy for Blizzard of Oz.
Fire.
Because Rudy Starzo was not on Blizzard of Oz. He came after for like the tour and shit. But yeah, a lot of players. Better bass. Frank.
I'm gonna go with Rainbow on this one. Listening to both of them, Rainbow just has more of the things that I like out of a bass, and it kind of reminds me of like the way you play, Al. Like, not too many fills, but tasteful fills in between or leaving sections. And I just find that to be appealing to my musical taste.
Sweet.
But the bass in Deep Purple is obviously fire. You can't really deny that fact. But if I'm picking one or the other, it's Rainbow. Especially on Rising, the second Rainbow album. Yeah.
The song Starstruck.
All the songs. Every song.
Go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with everything Frank said and go with Rainbow. Taste, there's a lot of taste, and I think David said it earlier. It's more with Deep Purple about like I don't know if you use the word driving, but like more like straight rock, where I feel like with Deep Purple they ride more straight on, head on. Where in Rainbow there's more like a little bit more, how you said, whimsical like type
twist and turns
type stuff. Yeah, different riffs, like different more so different sections and things like that. So yeah, the bass is like bridging in and out of different things is more to me. I just agree with what Frank says. So yeah.
Cheers to that.
What about you, David?
I'm also gonna go Rainbow on this one.
That's a rounder,
Round,
dude.
baby!
Oh, is that the first one of the night?
Yeah.
Round and round.
Good lord.
Yeah, I just think I liked it a little bit more overall. I feel like in Rainbow, there's just like way cooler grooves.
Yeah.
Like in the rhythm section in general, like as you were saying, like Deep Purple is like a little bit more straight on with it for the most part. I mean, it's very good music. I'm not saying it's like basic, but I think I just like the grooves that Rainbow have more, a little bit more interesting, like rhythm section going on, and a lot of really cool like walking bass lines I noticed when I was listening to a lot of the music. Like I always love a good walking bass line,
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm also going Rainbow on that one. Round
Round it, baby.
Round it up.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Moving on to the drums. One of the only mainstays in Deep Purple. The OG drummer, still in the band, never left. Ian Pace. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of guys. I think you actually corrected me. Cozy Powell was the second drummer
Yes, true.
of Rainbow. But sub it in however you will. What drums do you like better in each band? I think I have a feeling, based on what we talked about in the rhythm section before, that I know what this answer is going to be.
Do you?
Go ahead, David.
Ian Pace.
Oh, okay. Fuck you, man. All right, Frank, go ahead.
Wow, I don't even get to talk about it.
You can go. You can go.
Oh, I mean, I see where you're coming from. Like, I do like the Rainbow rhythm section and the parts and stuff, but when I do listen to, like, specifically the drums in both bands, I kind of feel like the drums in Deep Purple are like a hidden gem and a little bit underrated sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to give them credit on that. And Ian Pace, I got to give him his points on that, because I think he's really good. Yeah, I think he's a really good drummer, and I really enjoy the drums in Deep Purple. So that's what I was going to go with for sure.
Awesome. Frank.
When you put Cozy Powell in the band, the drumming becomes almost identical. But they're definitely two different players, and they have their own styles. But the overall style is the style that Richie Blackmore wants, which is why he kicked the first drummer out. Said he was clumsy on stage, whatever that means. But
Means they mess up.
I don't know. I mean,
That's what it sounds like.
the drumming on the first album for Rainbow is great. Very John Bonham inspired. The guy was from New York. I forget his name, but good drumming. But then Cozy Powell comes in, and just really fucking
Nailed it.
really nails it down hard.
Gives it the
But
edge.
of course, sorry,
The edge.
he did give him a little more of an edge, and they got heavier because of that. That's kind of a tough one. I mean, I can think of fills. Like, there's so many fills that are almost identical that both drummers have played. Yeah, I'm gonna give. I'll give it to Deep Purple for the first song on. I think the album's called In Rock.
Yeah, that's a good
Speed
album.
King. Awesome fill.
Yeah, it's
intro.
almost like a
Yeah, I know.
proto thrash type of song in a way.
Yeah,
It's like
it's fast.
fast metal before fast metal was
Double
a
bass
thing.
drums,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
know what I mean. That album is, I think, a really big thing for them.
That's
like,
my
I
favorite.
feel like that launched them into like
That's my
the
favorite album by
territory
Deep
that they
Purple.
needed to go in. When you
Yeah.
like look at their catalog and their timeline.
I'd say both my favorite albums from both those bands have the best drumming out of any of their albums, which is why I like it more, you know. But yeah, I'll go with Ian Pace.
Jeez, this guy with the drums, Larry with the guitar. Go on, Larry.
I can keep going.
Spare us.
I would go with. I guess Deep Purple. I mean, I don't really, you know.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
don't
really.
have a pay, do you?
Yeah, I don't really. I guess I'll say Deep Purple just because, just again, I know more. I know more material from Deep Purple. So, sorry.
All right.
That was a tough one.
The next one we're doing the keys. I'm just gonna answer for you guys. We all know the answer.
Yeah,
Let's
I
not beat
agree.
around the bush.
I agree.
I think I could get this one.
I agree.
We're picking John Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
John Lord.
That's a round table if I ever seen one.
I have Tony Carey on the other side. Sorry, Tony. You just don't make the fucking cut. You got John Lord. Guarantee you John Lord influenced that guy,
Ripping
influenced
the
many
organ.
players that come.
Oh,
He
yeah.
had the distorted organ.
Yeah.
Classic
Hammond.
lines, dude. Yeah.
Fire.
That's a round table times 4. I included myself in on that.
Damn.
That is a.
Never before seen on the podcast.
Moving on.
Moving
The
on.
Book of Taliesin versus Richie Blackmore's Ramo. Both
Let's do it.
Both are banger albums.
Let's do it.
Both are bangers.
Lair.
I'll probably honestly go with Rainbow. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow.
Big old facts right there.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost not fair because you're literally seeing
Yeah, it's like
someone who's at the beginning stage and then it's like
the
what comes
evolved-
after.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's already seasoned up, I feel like, by the time that first Rainbow album comes out.
The
You know?
riffs on that Rainbow album are sick.
They are
The drum
sick.
parts are fucking
So
sick.
Facts. Absolute facts.
It's awesome.
And I like Deep Purple's first album, too.
It's got a cool
But-
Beatles cover on it.
Yeah, that is sick. That we can work it out.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's
like,
awesome.
It's like a whole
It's
different,
all it's
a
all
whole different vibe.
feel.
Yeah, a whole different feel. It's super cool though.
But, Rainbow.
Frank?
Rainbow. Better drumming, better songs. I mean, they're from two different decades, but like obviously the Deep Purple one is very 60s sounding for their first
As
debut.
everything was,
Yes.
which we've talked
And
about 1,000
it's
times.
funny too, like the name of the album, like it's all like
yeah, man.
ooh, you know, like
That period is very
How
time
far out
stamped.
can we get
Like, a
type
lot of
deal.
stuff was very time stamped. There's stuff that has transcended, but a lot of the
Dated.
stuff in that era is dated as hell.
and the fucking album cover for
me,
the
it
Rainbow
was-
debut is sick. It's a castle, but in the castle, is a big ass fucking guitar.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
it's like, yeah, this is Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. That's
yeah.
awesome.
Hell yeah. David.
Bring it around town, baby.
Round
Take
it.
it around.
Rainbow all day.
Round,
Yes.
round.
Dio,
Yes.
dude.
Round.
Some sick riffs.
Just bringing it round, 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 round.
I love it. I love
Round, get
that
around.
first Rainbow
get
album.
around.
It is just killer all the way. I think it's awesome. And I do enjoy the first Deep Purple album, but it's not what I'm going to listen to if I'm going to listen to Deep Purple, where I would listen to the first Rainbow album if I'm going to go listen to Rainbow.
I mean, the opening track is Man on a Silver Mountain.
Dude, yeah.
Enough
Come on.
said.
Agreed.
It's so sick. That riff. That's what I
It's
mean.
fucking
The
badass.
riffs.
I'm a wheel.
And
Yeah.
Dio, dude. So
Yeah,
good.
then really hearing Dio like in Rainbow, like not
So
doing
good.
the elf thing because
So awesome.
he was all still like real. I guess you can call it nerdy, but like Lord of the Rings type shit, like fucking sword
Yeah.
fighting and you know, and then
Wizardry.
Rainbow. It's just
Dude, you know
he
what's-
loved that obviously. So then he was
Yeah.
like, "Let's. I want to do this."
You know what's crazy? I don't know if you guys like realize this, or maybe you have, but like Dio was like doing music since like the 50s.
Yeah,
And think of like how long it took
Yeah.
I know.
for like, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
man was he
There's
was
that picture of
grinding
him,
for a
like,
long
young,
time.
yeah, singing, yeah.
Right place, right time.
Like he was young, like
Yeah.
he was born in the 40s, I think. And then yeah, he started in the 50s like real prime and young, but it took a long time to get like to where
Yeah.
he got and to where people were like, "Oh, fucking
Yeah.
Dio, like he's the
Paisan.
guy."
Yeah,
Like
he's a
he, you know.
paisan. God bless him.
Created the rock and roll sign.
Yeah, dude.
Gene Simmons says otherwise,
Fuck Gene Simmons.
but I believe Dio.
Fuck Gene.
It is a
Yeah.
Maloy. You know, you can't really deny the fact.
That's what it is, you know.
My mom has on her gold chain. You think she's a heavy metal fan?
Fence off the devil, man. Machine Head versus Long Live Rock and Roll.
Ooh.
Let me go first.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so here's the thing. When I started listening for this episode, I will admit that I honestly never really dug into Rainbow's catalog until I started listening for this episode, and I'm way more familiar with Deep Purple. But as soon as I started listening to Rainbow, I was like, holy shit, why haven't I been listening to Rainbow? And I honestly really, really enjoy like all of it. And when I listened to this album, I was like, dude, this is honestly really sick. And there's so many cool like musical parts and songs and vocals, like the
Hell
melodies. Like it's honestly really, really good. But I can't give it the win because Machine Head's just such a classic album, and it has like some of the best Deep Purple stuff in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him the win, but I just have to give props because it's honestly not even too easy of a choice for me when I really sit down and listen, because I think I'm at a point because of this battle that I think I'm more of a Rainbow fan than a Deep Purple fan right now.
Yeah, I feel that.
So, and I would not have said that until we did this episode. Like I would have just been like, oh, Deep Purple, because I never really dug into Rainbow until now. And
Yeah.
I honestly really like it more. I really do. I just think it's just a little bit more sick. And, yeah. But I'm definitely going to give Deep Purple the points on this one. I feel like I have to. It's such a banger album.
Have to.
You smoke on
Sometimes
the
you
water,
got
dude.
to. Yeah.
It's just, it's that thing, you know?
Highway Star.
Highway Star, dude.
What do you like
Fucking
better?
great song.
What do you like better, Frank?
The Rainbow album has some good songs on it. I really like the last song. One of the songs sounds like a Zeppelin song. It's just the riff,
Second-
not the song itself.
The second song.
Is that the second
Yeah,
song?
it's
Yeah.
the second song. I forget the name already.
Yeah, but like, the riff is like the same notes and almost the same riff as Wonton song.
Very similar vibe.
Very similar. But yeah, you got to go with Machine Head. I mean, that's like the album you show someone if they've never listened to Deep Purple.
Yeah, and that's like the album that it put them at like the tier of all the other great rock bands of that era.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
if it weren't for that,
It was
we might
close.
not be talking.
It was
about
close
it,
for
you know?
Rainbow, but
Yeah.
honestly, the song that I just do not like on the Rainbow album is the first song.
See, I love that song.
See, it just sounds. Now
I
maybe it's
feel
because I
you.
wasn't there for the time. I wasn't in the time.
It's a little dated sounding. That
It
song.
just sounds cheesy.
I love it.
Now, to me, like now in the now times, it sounds like a cheesy rock song. Like
See,
Long live-
long live rock and roll.
any song that's talking
Like,
about
I
rock
can
and
just do
roll,
without it.
I love it.
But then you get to the other songs, and it's like, well, fuck yeah, like Babylon and
Babylon.
Yeah, Gates of Babylon.
That's
bro.
my
and Kill the.
uncle,
I think it's
man.
called Kill the
Showed me
King or
that shit.
something. They get so heavy and fucking
Yeah.
fast,
It's very sick.
and there's parts. But yeah, you gotta give it to Machine Head.
Hey man,
on this
don't
one.
hate on the simple rock song. All right, you gotta
I'm not
have
hating
that
on
shit.
it. It's just not my thing.
I know, but it's great.
Go, Larry.
I'll go with Machine Head because that's probably my favorite
Yeah.
Deep Purple album. Well, one of them at least. And then
Makes sense.
where that might
Where?
not be particularly my favorite Rainbow album.
We're keeping it round, baby.
So just bring it around. I mean, round and
You
then
like
bust.
that?
Round.
All right. Moving on to the song versus song,
Oh shit.
handpicked by the man himself, Frankie D.
Wow. Thank you guys. I appreciate the time and effort.
So it's Child in Time versus Stargazer. Frank's going first.
Oh, me?
Yeah, of course
Alright.
you.
Well, it was originally you went for a little bit of the obvious. What was it? It was between Highway Star and Man on a Silver Mountain,
Yes.
or these, and I was like, let's go down
I mean, A Child in Time
the epic route.
is an epic song.
Yeah, dude.
The vocals are epic. The solo section is epic. The way that the solo section just stops, and it's almost like, oh, the song's over, and then it slowly comes back in with the vocals. But then you get Stargazer, and the way the fill that the song starts with, and just the way it goes into the starting of the song, is so badass. And it's like a Cozy Powell. Now it's like a signature thing that Cozy Powell would do with, you know, the double bass and the toms and just, you know, working all around. But then the solo section of that song, it's so, well, you said mystical earlier, but it's like majestic. Like it's
Whimsical.
like, it's so, or whimsical, that's what it was. And the lyrics, I like the lyrics in Stargazer. Like, I mean, it's about a wizard, but it's like he's going through the desert and he's dying. He needs water, and then he eventually gets saved. And it's like this whole thing. If you haven't heard either of these songs, by the way, listen immediately. Pause the podcast and listen to these songs. They're amazing. They're a little
Certainly.
long, but sometimes a good song is long. You know, it doesn't always have to be short. I'm picking Stargazer. I just think the chorus is sick, and I like the guitar solo better. Child in Time is another one of those things where the guitar and the organ are soloing, and it's the same thing, which is cool. But when Richie Blackmore is on his own and he's like really in full control of what's going on, it's just so much better, in my opinion, you know? So yeah, I'm picking Stargazer.
Sweet. Lair.
This is probably the hardest question of the night for me.
Excuse me.
I'll probably go with Child in Time because I used to watch a live video of that song a long time ago on YouTube, and I thought it was awesome.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, I
I
believe you
think a lot
have.
of people have. It's a good one.
It's that one.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah, that's the one. You know that one?
That's it.
There it is. That one.
Well, which one is it for you, David?
That's tough, man. They're both great songs. I'm going Stargazer.
Boom.
Boom. There it is.
That one felt good.
Influence on music. Deep Purple or Rainbow?
That's very tough. That's freaking tough.
Ah, David.
So this is really hard for me. I mean, Deep Purple undoubtedly is a huge. See, this is where I'm just talking myself to an answer, but Deep Purple is very influential and was first. And you're talking about the same guitar player, so it's like any influence this guitar player has counts for both bands.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like equally. Like if you're a Richie Blackmore fan, you're gonna be like, I like both these bands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not gonna be like, oh, I hate that one. Like you're gonna like both because he does great work in both. I do feel like maybe Deep Purple, like song wise, catalog wise, maybe has like with Highway Star and Smoke on the Water a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more iconic tunes, like in the long run. But with Rainbow, like you're talking like Dio. Like Dio is one of the greatest singers, like of the genre, of the style, and like so many singers take from him. Like and like try to emulate his sound and what he did. Like there's, so it's just extremely tough for me to sit here and be like one or the other, and I kind of want to go Deep Purple just for it's the first band, you know. I don't know. But part of me is like, I don't know. Rainbow might be a little bit more influential for some. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go Deep Purple, I guess. That's what I'm gonna go with. It's hard. It's a tough one for me, but I'm just gonna go Deep Purple. It's not easy.
Tough call.
Frank.
I get what you're saying, like, because like it's like even back then when Rainbow came out, Deep Purple was like the OG.
Yeah.
But now they're both OGs.
Yeah.
Both bands, even though they had the same guitar player.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're a metal, like harder rock metal world, like band or musician or fan, you're probably gonna be like, I really love Rainbow.
Yep.
Where like Deep Purple maybe has fans in different categories, but also has fans in there. But it's like I don't really know, like who would be considered more influential. It's hard.
See, the one song that makes me think, and I'm not sure like the stats of like the songs and how well they sold and this and that, but when Rainbow released "Since You've Been Gone,"
Yeah, that's later, right?
that's later. That's like 79 or 78 or something. But I feel like that, because when I was younger, I remember hearing that song all the time.
Oh, yeah.
No idea it was Rainbow.
Same.
It didn't even sound like a band like that.
Yeah.
It sounded like it could have been like a pop singer or whatever, you know? So maybe that has something to do, like, influence on pop culture, like, because who knows who might have never listened to Rainbow if they never had released that song.
It's true.
And I feel like that, you know, maybe that's a popular song for that band. I mean, it is a popular song for the band, but maybe it's like one of those breakout songs that like makes you popular to everybody instead of just people in one group of music, you know?
I agree. I feel you.
I'm gonna go with Deep Purple.
Yeah, man, it's a tough.
It's a tough call,
It really is. It's
you know. But they were there first. They were cutting edge first. You know, expanding on sounds.
How are you, Larry?
Bigger influence on music is Deep Purple. It's Deep Purple, and it's because of guitar players wanting to play "Smoke on the Water." And for John Lord, if you played keyboard and still
thing.
wanted to play in a rock and roll band, Deep Purple was a band that you can listen to, or it was like there was a keyboard in it, and it was still heavy. And I looked this up because I thought about this. I didn't want to be wrong. In 1994, in Van in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. 1,322 guitar players gathered to play the world-famous riff, Smoke on the Water. So they had 1,322 guitar players played Smoke on the Water at once. And I thought I heard that, and I wanted to look it up, and it's true in 94. I don't know. That has to be the biggest, like, gathering
did that
of
with a
guitar
Rainbow
players.
song.
Yeah, that has to be the biggest gathering of guitar players playing one riff. I mean, it might not. That has to be.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's probably a
mean?
world record.
Yeah, that has to be.
I see what you mean, though.
You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, to me, it's no contest.
That's pretty influential.
To me, it's no contest.
Yeah.
It's Deep Purple. They're like one of the originators of
Yeah.
heavy metal music. And yeah, going back to the Smoke on the Water thing, playing bass, playing guitar,
Yeah.
like you learn
School
that
of Rock.
fucking song.
You get all the parts in. You get all like the parts, like, you know, the drums. Tick, 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 the bass walks in. Everything like shows up in layers, like in the. You know.
All right, got our answer. So this is, in your opinion, better project that Richie Blackmore was affiliated with between the two?
Rainbow, for me.
Sweet. You do it fast.
I mean, I don't know.
You gonna go, David, or I'm gonna go?
Rainbow.
Honestly, I would go with Rainbow too.
Yeah, after listening to Rainbow, I think I genuinely like them more than Deep Purple, personally.
Yeah,
Same.
They just have more of something. It's more.
it's more of a one sound. I feel where
A unison thing.
yeah,
But
but
it's
that's
not
because of the creative control,
Yes, exactly.
which is cool.
Yeah, I'm always down for that shit.
He really like becomes his own. Like Richie Blackmore really becomes his own in Rainbow. I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's coming around like deja vu. It's almost as if this has happened 1,000 times before or something. It's
What could
giving me
it
a
be?
headache.
It's taking over.
What could it be?
Ow.
Al, what's wrong?
Somebody help this guy.
Oh my god! Could it be? Could it be?
Get him some water.
Oh my god! Could it be?
Thank you. You did that right on time.
Welcome. Oh, I didn't turn all the way.
Anyway, people, you know the bonus round.
All right,
It's
I'm
time.
about to go first.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure if this is I mean, I guess this is bonus material because no one knows this probably. But when I was looking up the drummers for Rainbow, the drummer, he got kicked out. Okay, he's from New York. In 1987, he was murdered. Unsolved mystery still to this day.
That's what I'm talking about, dude.
One of the
I don't know that
guys-
Shit.
There was 2 suspects. One of them got acquitted, or he wasn't a suspect anymore, and the other suspect fled the country. Has never been back.
So
that's
is him.
Had to be him, right?
That or he was just really scared. I mean,
One or the other. But I thought that was a pretty crazy thing. Like, you're reading about that kind of stuff in about a drummer from a band.
Yeah, I already knew that, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I was there.
I've been on that.
So there was 3 people there.
It's you.
Hey, I didn't say it wasn't. You know what I mean?
I mean, Rainbow's just fucking badass. They have a lot of sick songs, and I mean, my favorite Rainbow song is probably what the fuck's it called? We just had the question about it.
Stargaze.
Stargazer. The live Stargazer, I forget what year it's from, but they go into an insane solo section. Then they're not even playing the song anymore. Then they go back into it. It's almost like you listening. You're like, are they still playing the same song? Yes, they are. Just sit back and relax.
Yes.
Enjoy
they
the
are.
ride.
And it's just an amazing band, and I really like listening to them. I'll do 3 points, just for those little factoids and things I like. For Deep Purple, I gave points to this in a recent podcast, but the Smoke on the Water song is about Zappa playing in the venue that burns down, and there's smoke on the water, and that's crazy.
No shit.
To have something like that happen in your life, then you write a song about it, and then it's like one of your biggest songs ever. And then 1,300 guitar players played at the same time in 1994.
1,322.
But there was one more thing.
lot,
I had
They were all plugged in, you know?
So how many points?
I'm not sure.
3 for them also.
Maybe there's footage.
3 and 3.
That's a lot.
Actually,
of,
I think there is footage.
But I had one more thing for Deep Purple, and I don't remember what it was. And it's gonna bug me. Someone just go. I'll see if I can remember.
I'll
it.
go next. I'll go.
Okay.
So, there's this really cool little documentary on YouTube about Richie Blackmore in general
Oh,
that
really?
talks about like just everything. So highly recommend to just look up Richie Blackmore. It's like a little doc, interviews and stuff. So I'm gonna give 3 points to Deep Purple. 1 for, how do I word this correctly? Just being like an innovative band that had like a fresh sound in, you know, a really competitive era of music that I think is, I mean, when you talk about rock music, like the late 60s into the 70s is like some of the most prime time for rock music in all of history. And I think they deserve just, you know, their flowers and credit for being who they were and having that unique sound with like the heavy organ keyboard in there and like the sick guitar and the good songs. And yeah, it's just badass, man. And with Rainbow, I'm gonna give them 4 points. And for my reasoning on that, 2 of them are strictly for Dio. And then the other 2 are just because they really expanded on like the Richie Blackmore style. And I think maybe perfected it a little bit more, in my opinion. I think they just really nailed it, man. Like that music is just so sick. Like it really is sick. It's awesome. And then I just wanted to talk about a few things that I learned from watching that documentary that I thought was really cool. He got a guitar when he was like, I think he said 12 or something, and his dad was like I'm trying to quote it of what he said, but he basically said his dad was like, "You're gonna learn to play this properly, or I'm gonna hit you over the head with it." And he got him like lessons to learn how to play guitar like classical guitar, and he rode his bike 4 miles to his lessons as a kid, and that's like where it all started for him, and that's just awesome. Like that's such a cool story. I think that's sick.
And what year was this? Like 50 something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how old he
Probably
was.
50s, early 60s.
Yeah, I mean, he was young as hell. So
Or yeah, at the 12, yeah, probably definitely 50s.
yeah, so I thought that was really cool, and he talks about it like it literally has interviews of him talking,
That's pretty cool.
and there's some other really cool stuff. They talk about the Zappa thing, and like they were supposed to use that place, like they were supposed to record. It was at a casino or something.
Yeah.
And it was like the biggest venue in that area or whatever. And they're supposed to record there. And that show was like the night before. And they were like staying like nearby. And that's where they like could literally see the smoke on the water because it was.
I think I've seen bits and pieces of this.
Yeah,
thing,
because
dude.
it's the on the water like
Yeah.
a casino place, whatever. And so they literally saw that. And then there was a event promoter who was like, well, let me help you guys out or whatever, and found him. They said it was like this glass pavilion place thing that was like not ideal for what they were doing, but like it, they were in a crunch and they had to do something. and they got like set up with this other spot, and that's when they like wrote the song "Smoke on the Water" and all that. And it's pretty cool just to hear him talk about that stuff. And he seems like a really cool guy. You could tell that. I mean, from what I've also read, like people said he was kind of like hard-headed and like he was definitely like a I'm running the show kind of guy, and he could be a little bit difficult. But
He seems like a stubborn guy.
yeah, he's a little bit stubborn.
Yeah.
But in the documentary, he's pretty cool, and he seems very. He's older in it. I think it was 2015 or something. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff and stories in there, just talking about Deep Purple and how they got it all together, and they were playing with like orchestras and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he basically said like it was like 68, 69, and he's like Black Sabbath was coming out and Zeppelin was coming out, and there's all these like hard rock bands, and he's like, so he was like, I don't want to play orchestras anymore, like let's do this.
Yeah.
And that's what led into like Deep Purple really becoming Deep Purple as people know it, and led into all that. So it's really cool. Definitely check it out. It's pretty sweet.
Hell yeah.
I found it very interesting.
That's
so
awesome.
highly recommend.
Yeah. So I said 1,322. That record was beat in Kansas City with 1,683 guitar players play "Smoke on the Water," Kansas City, Kansas. 15 years ago.
That's crazy, man.
Yep. So, I mean, there has to be a point in the bonus round for that. So I'll give him 3 points for if that's Deep Purple. I'll give another point to Deep Purple for John Lord.
So is that 4?
4.
Just give her your straight number.
Well, I'm just, I'm talking through it. And then
Take away a point.
I'll leave it at 4. And then Rainbow, I'll give him 3 points. That's it.
But you're not.
Points for what?
But why?
Points for what?
If you don't have a reason, you should give him 0.
I want to give him 3.
3 points. That's it.
Okay.
3 points.
I mean, to be fair, the rules of the bonus round are for like any reason at all, so
yeah.
it could be nothing.
Yeah.
Technically, we never said it had to be for something.
Yeah. 3 points.
-5 points for absolutely nothing.
I'll give.
You could do that if you want to be a
Rainbow
complete jag-off.
I'll give Rainbow 3 points for the band in existence. Give him 3 points for it.
For
Sweet.
Elf.
All right.
Yeah.
Deep Purple. I'll give them 3 points. Because, yeah, I know it's the generic thing we talked about all night, but honestly, dude, Smoke on the Water was like the first bass line I ever learned, and because it's tangible,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's just a couple notes, and like when you really break apart that song, could he have played more?
Yeah.
Maybe. Perhaps. Should have? No. It was perfect for that song. And in translation to School of Rock, dude, that was like the movie that was like, all right, I'm gonna get a fucking guitar.
Yeah.
And then I translated it over to the bass, or transition, I should say. Fucking the bass face, that just riding G. It really, people who could play a lot, go back and just play Smoke on the Water. Get your fundamentals down and like really get your time and just really like sit like with your eyes closed and just really dig in.
Really sink in
It's
there.
hard, but it's harder than you think. Like, you know what I mean? To be really precise and just lockstep. Try doing that. I guarantee you're going to be falling out of time. And maybe you need to humble yourself a little bit. Because it's hard. Because it's easy when you want to do all those Getty runs like me. Like, you know, like I'm guilty. I was like fucking just doing all that shit. But like, when it comes down to it, can you really fucking play? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
Are you a child in time?
sometimes the easiest things are the hardest.
It is.
I'm a child
because
out
there's
of
more
time.
space. There's more. It's just it's just a good example of that less is more mentality.
Well, same thing with drums too. Playing slow. Can you play this beat? Can you play it slow?
Yeah.
How many drummers can play quiet
You can
and
play
slow?
You can play it fast. I'm sure.
Yeah, fast and loud is
You
almost
just
easier.
know the part, but can you play it slow? Like, do you know what you're playing?
But yeah.
What a good musical therapy we're having right now.
So
Wow,
3
guys.
points, and then I'll give another 3 points to Rainbow. Yeah. Just because I did end up liking. I mean, I've always liked Rainbow music, but really diving in, I like them way more than Deep Purple personally. I just think there's just more there for me. I don't discredit Deep Purple's staying power and all the things they did for music and all space and time, but there's also one man that puts it over the edge. To me, fucking Ronnie James Dio is one of the best singers of all time, bar none.
You say it again.
Yeah, Ronnie James Dio is one of the greatest singers, not just rock and roll or metal, greatest singers of all time, bar none.
How does that
Bar
sound?
And-
none.
R.I.P.
None bar.
I mean,
Rest in peace.
I remember when he died. It was pretty crazy.
That
a
was
wise man once asked him for guidance,
They-
and he
they-
asked him to step down from his throne because he needed a tight compadre who could teach him how to rock. His father thought he was evil, but he said he could suck a cock. He said rock was not the devil's work. It's magical and rad. And he decided he'd never rock as long as he was stuck there with his dad. So I tell you, Dio got off the throne through the poster of his wall. And he said, I hear you ring my tables, you are hungry for the rock.
But to learn the secret resident doors you must unlock and escape your father's clutches in this oppressive neighborhood. On a journey you must go to find the land of Hollywood.
All right, we're good. We already did an episode on that. Okay.
He said that though.
But we
In
had
the
Dio
city
again,
of
dude.
fallen angels,
Bro.
where the ocean meets the sand.
But point is, he inspired a whole generation, and you can show that through that movie scene, dude. Everyone had that guy on the wall.
Dio!
Everyone had maybe the parents didn't take their musical endeavors seriously, but they had motherfuckers like him on the wall that was like, nah, fuck that. Go live your dreams and go do that shit. I mean, it's a stupid movie, but it is real.
When you really
I mean,
think
he's all
about it.
pissed off, and
When you
he's
really
just
think
like,
about it in the movie, Dio started Tenacious D.
Pretty much. And you know what?
God
No
bless.
shit.
You also gotta give a shout out to Dio for being tiny as hell and still badass.
He is
and
like a
not
little
giving
elf.
a shit. He was
It's funny
so
that his
small,
band was
dude.
the Elf and the Elves, and he's like a little tiny.
He's
He
short.
would wear like
You know, how
tunics
tall was
and
he? We gotta look
he would
this up.
dress like he's like from the medieval days. It was sick.
and Mike saw him in Sabbath before he passed away.
He was five.
sick.
He was
Badass.
5'4".
Yeah, that's
Oh
short.
my
That's
God.
shorter than me.
That's shorter
and
than
I'm
Larry.
Short dude.
Yeah.
Dio
that
was
is
tiny.
short.
What?
So props.
You should be a Dio next year. For
Such a
Halloween.
small guy with
The
such a loud and powerful voice.
The polls are in.
The polls are in.
It's in.
It was another close battle for the second week in a row. Not by much. Taking the lead with 23 points is Rainbow
Wow.
to Deep Purple's 20. Not far.
Wow.
It just seemed
Quick
like-
three.
Deep Purple had the edge, right? Like, maybe in their legacy. But
Yes.
all of us, since this is partly opinion based, we all collectively kind of like Rainbow more, as it seemed.
Suck it.
I think
So
so.
that's the way the fucking cookie goes.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way,
I like it.
Well, folks, that's been Battle Supreme.
Oh.
Go ahead, enjoy your week. Own it like the man on the Silver Mountain himself.
Can I-
Oh,
can I end
I'm a
this?
Thank you
wheel.
so much.
You want to end this?
Let me end this on something really fucking random that I thought about during this episode, but
Oh,
I didn't
boy.
say it, so I want to say it. I would really like someone to make a microphone for me that looks like an ice cream cone.
Dude,
That'd be awesome.
that's
Like,
fucking genius.
Imagine like an ice cream cone, and then it's
With a
like the
swirl?
ice cream on the top, and and it's a microphone.
With fake sprinkles.
If you're out there, someone, and you can do that for me, that'd be sick. Let me know. We could talk about it. Random, sorry, but I thought
like-
I don't know.
I
It was
like
a random
that.
thought I had,
like that.
and I was like, I gotta get this out before I forget about it.
He said that's how he wanted to end it. Peace out, folks.
Supreme.